Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Friday, September 13th, 2024, pre-market report. Honestly, I'm a little tired today. I was out at the drag strip over here kind of late yesterday. Got caught up in the moment. A lot of good people over there at Bradenton Motorsports Park. Anyway, I did post 3 runs yesterday on my Instagram. If you're interested in seeing those drag races, there is a link to my Instagram in the description of this video. Go check that out. It's kind of interesting. All right, anyway, look, people, we got stuff to talk about as usual. I always say this, and you know that this is true. Whenever the mainstream media, the CNBC, the Fox business, all this nonsense over there, when they're forced to talk about something, well, you know there's a problem. And you and I have been addressing this for I don't know how long, but here we go. This is today's headline from Reuters. Dollar falls. Gold hits record as investors mull coin toss on Fed decision. Now, this isn't a coin toss about what the Fed is going to do. The Fed is going to cut rates. Now, let's look at this. This is CNBC with regard to what the Fed is about to do, and this is going to be just people. Every time I think about it, my mind explodes. It's really the truth. So CNBC, Federal Reserve will opt for slow policy easing. Now, does this sound familiar to you? Because this is what I've been saying and we've talked about here. This is going to be deliberate, slow, methodical as to keep the frog boiling. So forget what Fitch says here. These people are so far behind the curve. They have no idea what's going on and or why. But this is the truth. I can't see another way out of it. And the mechanism here of slow and deliberate, again, as to keep the frog boiling. The frog is you and me, of course. This is going to slowly, methodically, and deliberately finish what the Fed started. This deconstruction of the economy, the creation of a neo-feudal system, decimation on a grand scale of the middle class. And again, this is central banks working together around the world. This is not, stop it now, people, thinking this is just an issue here with the United States, that it's Biden's fault or it's Trump's fault or whoever's fault, and it's not. This is the central banks. But I want to say something else real quick with regard to that. Keep this in mind. You and I both understand what we're hearing out of both of these non-human entities, and I'm talking about Trump and Kamala. They're not human, either one of them, honestly. But the reason why they're promising you both of the same thing, we promise you lower rates, is to help the Fed service the debt. Has nothing to do with you. It's to help the Fed fulfill their goal to own it all, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort. Now, you and I have been speaking about the national debt and deficits, how things are going out of control. CNBC, interest payments on the national debt top $1 trillion as deficit swells. This mechanism here is not going to stop. Let me just read this a little bit. What did I write? I tell you, you know how I operate. I see a headline. The first thing that pops into my mind, I write it down. So promises of low rates by both, and I wrote clowns here, is not for you, but to help the Fed service the debt. Now let me read this to you. So again, interest payments on the national debt top $1 trillion as deficit swells. The government has laid out $1.049 trillion on debt services, up 30% from the same period last year. The jump in debt services cost came as the U.S. budget deficit surged in August, edging closer to $2 trillion for the full year. The U.S. government, for the first time in history, has spent more than $1 trillion this year on interest payments on its $35.3 trillion in national debt, according to the U.S. Treasury Department. This has just been reported. So now you understand why both creatures, well, I'll just say clowns, because that's what we have here. It's a clown show. And as I said, if this is the best we have to offer, I'm laughing, but it's pathetic. We're all done. As deficits and debts continue to hyperballoon, the promises of lower rates by these two frankly imbeciles, is going to help the Fed and enemies. They're enemies. They're our enemies, of course, because they're helping the Fed fulfill their goal here. In this case, help the Fed service the debt. Keep the frog boiling. Does that make sense to you? Now, this is the dollar index this morning and the U.S. 10-year yield. You can see what's going on here. It's pretty obvious. You're watching the MMRI. I know you are. The rigging here of the debt market and the dollar being a unit of debt, we haven't seen anything yet. Now, with regard to that, you know how I operate, people. I tell you exactly what I am doing. Do you see this? I did buy more XRP, added to my position in XRP. I would suggest if you're, look, I'm not telling you guys and girls what to do, but I would suggest that you ponder having some exposure to the cryptocurrency space here. Again, I you know how I feel about XRP. I've spoken about it a million times. Bitcoin, that's Trump's favorite. That's all he keeps talking about. Crypto president, Bitcoin president. We're going to be the crypto capital of the world, not the constitutional money capital of the world, but the crypto capital of the world. Obviously we know where this is going, honestly. So it's pretty simple for you and I to understand what we need to continue to do. And that is exactly what we've been doing. Do you realize how far ahead of the curve we've been, you and I? I mean, when you hear, this is just, look, they think we're that stupid. They really do. Fitch says the Federal Reserve will opt for a slow policy. Come on, man. Of course, they want to keep the frog boiling. Reuters having to report on what's happening to the dollar here. People, look, with regard to, if we know, here we go again, if we know that we are going to see, it's already happening. Okay, again, Reuters is talking about it. It's getting mainstream media coverage. What's happening to the dollar, the decimation here, the artificially suppressed rates, the Fed buying it all right now, watching the yield curve globally, seeing what central banks are doing here. If we know for a fact, and it's indisputable, that central banks are going to continue to devalue, I can't handle it anymore, yes, I'm having a meltdown, continue to devalue their currency. What do you want to do about it? Are you going to sit back in some corner and suck your thumb off? Or are you going to do something about it? You can't be in a central bank issued notes, especially on the back of what we're hearing out of the freak show here in the United States. Yes, Trump is a freak, and so is Kamala. They're not on your side. They work for the Fed. Henceforth, why? They're promising you lower rates so it can help the Fed service the debt. Does that make any sense to you at all? Or is Greg just really, really out there? He doesn't know what he's talking about because Trump has been sent by God and Kamala, she's just the greatest. Yeah. This is where people are, man. You can't make it up. You can't do it. So again, look, understanding that debts and deficits are going to hyperballoon from here, people. Understanding that this free full dollar isn't going to stop. Understanding that the Fed is going to boil us slower and more methodically. Looking at what's happening here to the dollar and the debt market here. You gotta be in something else, man. This is it, though. This is it. This is a beautiful place to be. In Greg Mannarino's opinion. All right, you're entitled to your own. I realize how many of you hate the crypto space. I got it. Okay, fine. Stay out. That's okay. All right. But here, if you are not owning this one single asset, if you don't have this one single asset in your portfolio, you're done. Okay, I don't know another way to put it. You're going to be done as done can be, at least from a financial standpoint. But we're bringing this together, people. You know that from every level. It's not just a financial game that this is. This is the sickest, most twisted thing in the history of God's creation of the universe. But we're doing something. We're taking action. We're raising awareness, man. And that's where you guys come in, as you know. Please share this stuff. Get it out there. Give it a thumbs up if you've gotten something. Man, look, this stuff here doesn't surprise you. And I get that. When you hear about debts and deficits hyperballooning, the game, the plan here, the real plan by the central banks here utilizing puppets to sit behind the resolute desk to promise you things that only help them. We do not need lower rates. We do not need a weaker currency. People, you know that. We need the polar opposite of this. But again, this would help you. if we were to do the opposite of what the Fed wants, which is of course lower rates here and a weaker currency, the opposite of what Trump and Kamala are telling you or promising you, we need the polar opposite to rebuild this economy. But this game is just to destroy us all. And make sure people stay divided, man. Divide and conquer. Rip their faces off. Make them, zombified freaks. What else can I tell you, man? People, look, I know you get it. I'm preaching here to the choir, but what I'm hoping is you, I'm speaking directly to you. You're going to share this stuff, talk about this stuff, get our message out, and it is getting out there. I mean, this channel is getting bigger. Our channel is getting bigger. How many other websites are picking up our work? Anyway, look, man, that's kind of it. So, look, just remain on target. What we've been doing. That is, again, betting against the debt, becoming our own central banks here, looking for opportunities that look, if you realize, again, if we understand people that the Fed's in here buying all the debt, they're going to buy even more, giving themselves permission to issue more of their product to the world. Central banks around the world, the same thing. That, again, a central bank, any central bank can't just say, hey, by decree, I declare, we declare that rates are going to be low. Does it just happen by an act of the divine? No, it does not happen by an act of the divine. They have to create new cash out of nothing and buy all the debt. How is it? Why is it? Let me see. That you and me don't benefit from all this here, because it's supposed to be public debt, huh? Then why are we servicing this debt and it's destroying us all? Why are we being boiled? Can someone here explain that to me that's maybe smarter than Greg Mannarino, which is probably all of you? Anyway, as I said, people, we got this down, man. Let them play their freaking games. We're going to play ours. Because we can play the game better. We understand what they're doing, who they are, who their puppets are, who the enemy is. Man, I tell you. All right, look, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to see all of you later, 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for the live stream. People, come on, man. Let's get more people over there. I want to interact with you. That's why I do the live stream, so you can ask me questions in real time, all right? We're getting there. We got about 2,000 people. Let's double that, man. Let's do it. All right, so people, I will see all of you later. Until we meet again, please take care of yourselves and, of course, each other.